So what's going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video where today we're going to be talking about everything we know about the next Call of Duty. Over the past couple of days we've had some brand new information. It seems like every other week now we're getting something different. But this all began back in February. There was a Twitter user called Modern Warzone who said the next Call of Duty title is 100% being developed by Sledgehammer Games. While this information isn't official, it doesn't need to be taken with a grain of salt. So 100% we know by now Sledgehammer are making the next Call of Duty. It just makes sense. Treyarch made this year's COD, Infinity Ward's came out in 2019. We have 3 different main COD developers, so Sledgehammer being the only one out of the bunch that hasn't released their Call of Duty. Even without these leaks, we could have given a good guess that it would be them. And if we go back a little bit further to December 31st, New Year's Day, Sledgehammer put out this tweet where they said, "Power on, power off, let's try this again, Happy New Year." If you saw this at first glance, you probably wouldn't think anything of it, but around that time, Sledgehammer hired a bunch of new developers. If I'm not wrong in saying they welcomed over 150 new employees to the studio. There were a lot of things going on during that time. I think this tweet could have well meant more than them just talking about the new year. Also because they hadn't really been active on Twitter before this all that much. This was around the time when Sledgehammer were having a fresh start. It could have been their way of saying, "Hey guys, we're releasing a game this year." And then a week or so after it was leaked who the developers would be, another very credible leaker who goes by the name of Victor posted this, an image of Call of Duty World War II. To this, someone asked him, "World War III?" and he replied, "World War II." This was our first proper hint on the next Call of Duty setting. When I first saw this tweet, I thought, okay, well we had a World War II game from Sledgehammer not too long ago, so is it going to be a continuation of that? Is it going to have nothing to do with the original World War II? Because this time period for COD has been done quite a few times. Granted, it was a long time ago. Back when Call of Duty first released, every game that was given to us was based around World War II. That all changed during COD 4, and then we didn't see one for quite a long time, up until Sledgehammer's game in 2017, and we haven't had one since. Meaning by the time this COD releases, it will have been 4 years since our last World War II game. But since it's been done quite a few times in the past, it is based on events that actually took place, so obviously you're limited to a certain amount of battles, which got me wondering, well, what parts of World War II are we going to be playing in? How will this game be different from the rest? Well, just a couple of days ago, Modern Warfare put out this tweet where he said, exclusive, COD 2021 is set during World War II, and its working title is Call of Duty World War II Vanguard. As of right now, that is the title of the game. We are months away, and he does say it's a working title, so it could change. But we found out what the title for Black Ops Cold War was around about this time of last year, and now we've got this. A day later, another Twitter user called Okami referenced a different tweet by Modern Warfare, although I couldn't find the original, but it said, Call of Duty 2021 is to be set during World War II, potentially in an alternate timeline where the war continues into the 1950s. There was another tweet that he said back in February, in which he basically stated the same thing, saying COD 2021 should be set during the 1950s, which was when the Korean War started. A lot of people in the comment sections have been saying there is a very high possibility this game could be taking place a few years after World War II in the 1950s when the Korean War was, whilst there's other people saying it's set during an alternate timeline where World War II didn't end. What that means exactly, I don't know. Perhaps the Nazis won the war, or the war simply never came to an end and we continue after 1945, maybe all the way into the 50s. It could be a little bit of both. We don't know, but if that is true, that opens up a ton of more possibilities as to what they can do. If it's in the 1950s, the Korean War isn't something we've seen in Call of Duty before. If you aren't too familiar with this, it took place between 1950 and 1953, and it was between North Korea, with the help of China and the Soviet Union, and South Korea, with the help of the United Nations and the United States. It began with North Korea invading South Korea. So that could be an interesting war they could do, something we haven't seen before. Maybe the game starts out during World War II and we play a few missions where it's coming to an end, and then the rest of the game takes place during the Korean War. Or the other option is, it takes place during an alternate timeline, a reality that didn't actually happen, where World War II never came to an end, or if it did, the Germans won. Either way, again, it would make it super interesting because it would mean Sledgehammer have the freedom to do whatever they want to do since it didn't actually happen. They can be a lot more creative, include experimental versions of weapons, vehicles, kill streaks that we haven't seen before. They have the freedom to add whatever they want into this game without disrespecting history. As to when it's going to be releasing, well, another credible leaker called Tom Henderson said COD 2021 will be revealed mid-year and is also going to be revealed via Warzone. While we're a while away from the reveal yet, best guess is probably April to coincide with the Black Ops Cold War reveal. So he thinks the game will be revealed mid-year, which is around August when Cold War is revealed, and just like that game, the official reveal will take place within Warzone. An event will happen. I was about to say in Verdansk, but Verdansk won't exist then. We'll have Black Ops Cold War's map, but an event will take place which should reveal COD WW2 Vanguard. I suppose the only other two big questions are then, now that we know the date that it's set, which relates to the campaign, but every Call of Duty releases with 3 modes, also kind of including Warzone. Well, to do with online and Warzone, there was an interesting tweet that Tom put out which said, Warzone will have massive mid-year updates moving forward. Sledgehammer Games' map isn't due to drop until this time next year, and there might be delays to weapon integrations like we saw with Black Ops Cold War. So he's pretty much telling us, just like we're getting a Cold War Warzone map, when Sledgehammer's game releases, they'll also add their map into Warzone. And the third game mode, well, that we haven't heard anything about. Every COD has 3 modes, especially now with Warzone being free. There are less and less reasons for people to buy COD. Some people don't play multiplayer and just play the campaign, so paying £50, £60 for a campaign isn't really worth it. There has to be this third game mode in COD to entice people to purchase it now. So what will the third game mode in this year's Call of Duty be? Well, interestingly enough, in Sledgehammer's previous 2 games, World War II and Advanced Warfare, both games included zombies. There was exo-zombies and Nazi zombies. It would only make sense then, not only since they've done it before, but also I can't think what else they would do, but more than likely it will include zombies. If that's the case, could it be a continuation of World War II zombies? This is another World War II game, so there's a big chance if it does include zombies, it takes place after the last World War II map, which was the Frozen Dawn. The story continues on from there. I can't exactly remember what happened, so I couldn't begin to tell you what might take place. Honestly, I didn't mind World War II zombies. I think it got less and less interesting as we went on, but the first map, especially the Final Reich, was very, very good. I also liked the story for Exo Zombies. It was their first attempt. I can only see this year's COD including it. They've done it twice, it has to include a third mode, it's what makes sense. Whether it carries on from their last game or it's new, we don't really know, but if they're sticking with that same setting, it could be a continuation. And the final quick little thing I wanted to show you, which could mean totally nothing, but it's interesting either way, there was a tweet put out by someone called Calanine, which says, in Rucker, you can find a letter dated March 15th, 1944 with this logo. The letter talks about sending corpses of soldiers, regardless of their condition, to Mittelberg in Bavaria, which was the location of the Final Reich. Pretty much a World War II zombies Easter egg is in Black Ops Cold War. Now, I think this is just a reused asset, but why they would use a World War II asset in Cold War is a little bit weird. Maybe they just didn't notice, or they thought none of us would notice. I think that's probably the case because the stories aren't tied together. Treyarch are very solid on their storyline, or at least there were, or is there the small chance this is a teaser that the next game is World War II and includes zombies? I don't think so, but I just thought I'd put that one out there. So there we go, that is it. That is everything we know about the next Call of Duty. Expect more information over the next few weeks, months, and then as we get closer to August, we'll get little official teasers, and then the big one in Warzone. Anyway guys, as always, if you've enjoyed today's video, a like rating is always appreciated. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, goodbye.